Hello and thanks for joining us on the news tonight. 27 out of 32 lawmakers from PDP in Rivers State defect. APC welcomes them into the fold. Governor Fubara forges ahead with his 800 billion naira budget of renewed hope. On the foreign scene, imprisoned Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has been removed from the penal colony. Sport, Victor Osimhen, Asisat Oshoala, no fate today in Morocco. This is TVC News at 7, reaching you live from our headquarters here in Lagos. We begin our news at this hour with developments in Rivers State, with 27 out of 32 members of the House of Assembly defected to the opposition All Progressives Congress. Today's event has seen the formal acceptance of the lawmakers. The APC has held a briefing in the state capital.
Even though I'm not a member of the House of our Assembly, not one of those are defected, but their arguments are germane and genuine. We have gone past the era of 16 being above 19. I hope you remember that era, where 16 was deemed to be higher than 19. I've gone past that. And again, the Assembly members who are defected have confided in me that leadership, governance in Rivers State have been run aground, that there is no government in Rivers State. All that we have had with the former governor of Rivers State, His Excellency, who is now the Minister of FCT, have all atrophied, or they are all atrophied. This government was built on the plank of consolidation and continuity. But you and I are witnesses to the fact that it is a complete aberration. Nothing is happening in the state. There is hunger in the land. What you only hear is two persons declaring themselves as Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. Is that the reason why Rivers State voted for them? The answer is no. And so there has to be check and balances. Of course, you know that the whole essence of the conception of separation of powers and checks and balances is about.
Before this, our senior correspondent Tuchi Okoro filed this report after the lawmakers dumped the PDP and embraced their new party.
For reconciliation between the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and the minister of FCT, Wike, may have been dashed with the defection of these lawmakers. Their decision to leave the PDP indicates that the lawmakers may still be on course with plots to impeach the governor. Via letters written individually by the lawmakers, they officially declared for the APC during plenary at the House of Assembly complex in Port Harcourt. They cited leadership tussle in the PDP as one of the reasons for their defection.
I write to bring to your attention my decision to leave the People's Democratic Party, PDP. This decision to leave the PDP is necessitated by the division in the People's Democratic Party, of which I was elected to this House. In particular, the tussle around who the National Secretary of the PDP is has now sharply divided the party and made it unclear as to who is the National Secretary of the party, thereby making it difficult for me to chart an appropriate communication channel.
During the plenary, the lawmakers accused the governor of shielding the suspects in the burning of the assembly complex and withholding of funds for the running of the legislature.
You cannot be a chief security officer of a state and the hallowed chamber of the Rivers State House of Assembly, where you, as a sitting governor, will present all the requests that you need to function, is attacked. For how many months? For how many days? And you are still seated comfortably.
The governor who is supposed to be the one to uphold the law is the one who is not disobeying the law. withholding funds meant for an arm of government while he's living lavishly and conducting his own affairs lavishly with state funds. This is sad. I think this is the first time that funds meant for the legislature will be withheld.
The lawmakers threatened to decline future requests by the governor for approval of funds pending his compliance with their resolutions.
Rivers State Local Government Amendment Bill.
The Local Government Amendment Bill seeking to stop the appointment of caretaker committees for the councils scaled second reading. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Joining us live now are Ayodele Ozubakun, our political editor, and Uche Okoro in Port Harcourt. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me on the news at 7. Well, what a day it's been. First, the defections. Did anyone see this coming? Let me begin with you, Ayo, in the studio.
Of course. It was always going to get to this. Don't forget that earlier this year, Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, went to the Federal High Court and got an injunction against the People's Democratic Party. That was 2nd of February, from suspending or expelling him from that party. So he has one leg in the People's Democratic Party. And at the same time, the coast became clearer for Nyesom Wike when the National Executive Council of the APC actually removed the executive of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State and saw in a 7-man caretaker committee. I knew that the coast was clear for Nyesom Wike to make a powerful inroad into the All Progressive Congress. Now, with this move now, it's telling us that, look, this is just like Series 1, Chapter 2, or Chapter 3, that we have a lot of chapters. Now, we are yet to see when the almighty Nyesom Wike will make his triumphant entry into the All Progressive Congress of Rivers State. What is happening is that from what you've seen now, the governor has stopped funding the State House of Assembly, and the State House of Assembly, they are threatening fire and brimstone to stop all the bills of the governor. What is this going to do? It's going to grind the state to an halt. That means the gladiators, the 2 principal officers that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu called to order some weeks back, will need to go back to the drawing table with the president if they want Rivers State to move forward.
Let's begin with Uche Okoro, who is on ground in Rivers State. Uche, well, from what you gather, did you actually see this coming?
Interesting. Well, no, I didn't see this coming, I must say. Even though that there appeared to have been some uneasy calm in the polity here in Rivers State. Certainly no one was of the thought that the crisis was over and that both parties had finally reached a peaceful resolution of their dispute. Certainly no one saw that. But what many people didn't expect was that we're going to have a defection of all the lawmakers, 27 of them, at a time so soon, so early into this particular dispute. What this just indicates is that if there were any hopes for reconciliation, perhaps we would have to wait a lot more longer for that to happen. But speaking about the future of the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, well, right now there's been no comment from him as to his future. Remember that the former governor has always insisted that he is a founding member of the PDP, while others have left the party since 1999. He is one of the few leaders of the party who have stayed put to ensure that PDP survives. So he has not said anything about his plans to defect to the All Progressives Congress. But just moments ago, we just finished interacting with the caretaker committee chairman of the APC Rivers State, who have said that the party are ready to welcome the former the former governor and minister of FCT with open arms should he decide to, of course, leave the PDP for the All Progressives Congress. They see him as someone. In fact, if I'm to quote the chairman specifically, he said, Nyesom Wike, come over to Macedonia and help us. So they see him as a shining light who they would be very eager to accept should he decide to join the 27 lawmakers in the All Progressives Congress.
Well, only recently, former Governor Wike, now the FCT minister, went viral with an "On Your Mandate Jagaban," which is stand video in the office of the Chief of Staff. And there were questions as to if this was a precursor setting the stage for today's consequential action for the PDP. But Uche, stand with you. Let's talk about the fact that despite today's upsetting events, Governor Sim Fubara has gone ahead to approve his 800 billion naira budget of renewed hope. What do you think will happen with 27 opposition lawmakers and his 4 members of the PDP? It seems like an exercise in futility.
The outcome of that State Executive Council meeting, which ended in the early hours of the afternoon, at about 1-2 p.m., about 3 p.m., that meeting was over. The outcome of that meeting was quite surprising because many had expected the top on the agenda of that meeting to be the defection of the 27 lawmakers. But surprisingly, when they emerged from that closed-door meeting, the information we got, the briefing that we got, was that the State Executive Council had approved the 2024 budget for the government, tagging it the budget of renewed hope, consolidation and continuity. Now, following that approval of the State Executive Council, of course, you expect that the budget will now be presented before the House of Assembly for approval. Now, that is where we expect another deadlock to occur, because the House of Assembly, as Ayo mentioned, is threatening fire and brimstone. They have said they listed they have 5 demands. Of course, one is to 5 demands. I wouldn't want to, for sake of time, I wouldn't want to go through the 5, but one of them is that they would turn down every request going forward for approval of funds. They were very specific, not just approvals. They were specific that they would turn down every approval of the governor going forward for approval of funds. So you can expect that there will be a deadlock if we ever get to the point where the governor of Rivers State meets with the assembly to present that budget. A big if we ever get to that point for the presentation of the budget before the assembly, you can expect that the assembly will not cooperate with him to ensure that that document that document sees the light of day. Approval sees the light of day. So that's the situation that we are in, and it is the governor responding as though nothing has happened to the assembly members who have now pitched their tent with the All Progressives Congress.
As it stands, 27 opposition lawmakers and only 4 in the camp of Governor Sim Fubara as it stands. It seems like an exercise in futility. I mean, talking about this budget and other happenings. How will Governor Fubara continue in office?
My prediction? We should forget governance in Rivers State for now. Because the critical sector in governance, the executive and the legislature, are loggerheads. And if Nyesom Wike is controlling the liver of 27 members of the State House of Assembly, it's a done deal. And if the governor is still there insisting, so there's a kind of stalemate situation in Rivers State right now, and it will take the intervention of Mr. President or big stakeholders in Nigeria that can actually, intervene in the crisis in the states. At the end of the day, the normal man, the average man on the street is going to be the one that will suffer ultimately. So what we are having here now is a situation whereby nothing will move in Rivers State. That is the implication of what Uche Okoro has just said. If the governor is sending any bill, for the governor to implement anything, it has to be approved by the State House of Assembly. For the governor to implement that budget, it must be approved by the State House of Assembly. And the governor does not have what it takes to get the approval. You can look at the equation, 4 to 27. Is that not ridiculous? Do you understand? So the governor should be looking at a way of penetrating or appeasing to these assembly members so that can get more people to his side so that his bills can be passed into law.
And as it is, Nyesom Wike is a man after the heart of the PDP and arguably the APC also. And he has kept his promise that he had handed down the structure in Rivers State to the APC. Do you see him joining this ship of the APC, or do you see him remaining in the PDP in name only while his heart and soul are actually with the APC?
I met with Nyesom Wike some 3 weeks ago, and the man I saw a man that understands politics and understands the dynamics of what he is doing. The earlier he leaves the People's Democratic Party, the earlier that party will get succor. And the more he remains in that party, and he has an injunction against that party, and you can just imagine the havoc that was wreaked against the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election. Yes, holistically, Nyesom Wike delivered only Rivers State. to the All Progressive Congress. Go and check the figure. Delivered it. But every other apparatchik of that state, House of Representatives, House of Assembly, Senate, National Assembly, delivered to the People's Democratic Party. So Nyesom Wike is a character that you cannot predict. So I don't know his next move, but I'm telling you, you are seeing a very high-level game of chess being played by those that understand the masters. So Nyesom Wike is a master in the game.
Well, Uche, what really is the mood on the streets of the state capital, Port Harcourt, and across the PDP and the APC?
I want to start by talking about the mood and the general public. The general public is calm. There is no tension in the air. As you can see, you spoke with me earlier in the afternoon. You saw the mood in the town was calm. People were going about their normal business. And this is a few hours after now. This is night time. You can see behind me. Everywhere is calm. I've not heard of any breakdown of law and order or any crisis or any violent protest or or any breach of security as a result of the defection of these 27 lawmakers. So everywhere is calm as far as the general public is concerned. But of course, in the camps of the People's Democratic Party, supporters on one side and supporters on the other side, certainly there is no calm there. You know, people there are a lot of emotions are really running very high as regards what has happened. Those who are in support are on one side, of course, making their voices heard. Those who are not in support are also on the other side making their voices heard. So as far as I'm concerned, I would say that as far as general public is concerned, everywhere is calm. The only unease that we're feeling right now, the only tension that we're feeling right now is coming from the political class, the stakeholders of the various political parties, the political elites who have an interest. Those are the ones who are at each other's throats and of course speaking for and against what has happened. But the atmosphere is calm, everywhere is calm. We expect this to continue in the coming days while we follow up the developments here from Port Harcourt.
All right, Uche and gentlemen, thanks so much for staying with us. Ayo, we're looking forward to that report on the man Wike and his pact with the APC.
All right.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.